So let me begin by saying a huge, fantastic job done to Benjamin and Sweetie for a good job done so far. But of course, you're welcome to the soft side of life right here on the AM show on the Joy News channel. Of course, I get to softly launch you into the weekend. You know it's Friday, and you know we love Fridays, right? Right, so you're welcome to E-Corner right here on the show. I'm Noella Carinial. In case you're watching for the first time, well, I'm about to be your favorite tea server or tea brewer, whatever category you want to put me in, I'm good. But whatever tea you're looking for, we're going to be sipping right here. And right after this, I get serving. Only question is, are you ready to sip? You get to answer that. All right, so it's E-Corner, Noella Carinielli. I am beautifully seated. Let's get right into business. And we're going to start. So I have a mixed bag of stories for you today, okay? I have from sad stories to exciting stories. And I'm thinking I should probably start on a sad note so we can end on a high note. And speaking of a sad note, let's talk about Dada KD. Now, for you, Generation X or Y, that's the generation that preceded us, the millennials, you probably know this man, okay? So let me speak to the Gen Z and Generation Alpha, okay? They probably have no idea who this man is. So this man is your typical Mario or your typical R. Kelly, if we're talking international. But he is a talented, fantastic, high life musician, is behind several hits. In fact, one of them is Fatia Fatankroma. I brought you excess of that song. Listen. Talk of melody, talk of composition, talk of lyrics. He was nothing short of a fantastic musician. And I say was because this week we heard the unfortunate news of his passing. We all don't know what happened. We understand that he was found unresponsive in his home by his cook. And very shortly, I'm going to play you that video or that interview his manager had with one of our in-house journalists where he confirmed that. But listen, this man is one of those that, dedicated his entire life to doing music. He believed in the sacredness, or the sacredness, I should say, of music, and decided, you know what, I think music is one of those that I should just do full-time, authentically and organically. And he did it. He, footed all the bills himself. In fact, weeks or months before his demise, he went on several interview platforms where he was asked about his challenges, and he spoke about a number of them. He did not hide the fact that he was battling some form of sort of depression, talked about the fact that, he has been footing this, music thing by himself, never been, signed onto any label. And so since the inception of his career, he has been taking care of the cost. And, if you are very educated about the music business, you would know. In fact, we've had several conversations with record labels where they, who are supposed to be the ones that have money, they complain bitterly about how, the music business can sometimes be overwhelming and underwhelming as well. And so for a musician to foot all of that and also not get the kind of return on investment he was expecting, you can imagine that kind of, how do I even say this? Like the kind of mental struggle he had to deal with going through all of that. But listen, let's listen to his manager share with us how he passed away.
Dada KD stay at Tansoma, and he has a cook, somebody who helped him for home chores and other things. So the lady went to town, and she came back. When she came back, she went to Dada KD's room and said, "Oh, Dada, I'm back. Do you want me to do something for you?" When she reached the room, Dada KD was lying on the floor, unconsciously.
Oh.
And unfortunately, our car we are using have a problem. So we have a taxi driver, which we call him for everything we are doing. So the lady called the taxi driver to come and pick Dada to the hospital. And unfortunately, they did not think, oh, let's send him to Kolebu. But what they are saying is, he's a public figure, I think, in private hospital. That's where they start at SDA hospital. And that moment, they have to rush into the theater, emergency room. They put oxygen on him. The doctor said everybody should get out. In 5-10 minutes, the doctor came out and said that he could not survive.
Wow.
Really sad story there. A lot of people are speculating that, you know, he must have committed suicide. We cannot confirm that. We're still, you know, we still have our tabs on the story. We haven't seen any report from the family on the cause, official report from the family on, you know, the cause of his death. But we're going to keep our tabs on this story and bring you updates should there be. But listen, because this is connected to mental health, I think it's a good time for me to tell you to slow down, okay? A lot of times our minds spiral and we try to, you know, work against time, work faster than time or whatever. I mean, I tell you what I do. I work with time, okay? I do what I can do and I leave the rest. In fact, I give the rest the permission to sort themselves out because listen, I'm not about to do everything in this life. So if you are one of those people struggling mentally, please give the rest the permission to sort themselves out and sort you out, okay? Do not, you know, lose yourself over things you cannot control, all right? And make time your best ally, okay? This is very touchy for me, but anyway, let's move on to some other exciting stories. And I'm going to tell you a story about Hoghlife, another musician I know the Generation Zs and Alphas would have absolutely no clue about. But yeah, he was part of, should I call them a boy band? Were they a boy band? Him, KK Fosu, Samini, I'm not sure. But yeah, they collaborated, I beg your pardon, on a song, a particular song called Zaza. Now that song has been trending this week, and I'll tell you why. But first, listen to that song.
I say abaso, me say abaso. Onya boso homia kosa zan zan zan. Abaso zan 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 zan. Hoghlife wasunaba. Uga ga. Hoghlife wasunaba. Zan 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 zan. Hoghlife wasunaba.
Okay, so that's the famous Zaza song by Hoghlife. He featured Samini. Did you see? I mean, look at how young Samini was. And KK Fosu as well. Now, this song was trending this week because a certain musician who collaborated with Nigerian musician Shali Poppy released a song where it could clearly be seen that he sampled from Zaza. I don't want to talk much, but let's listen to Frene's song and then I'll tell you more. I won't lie, I like this rendition of the song or sampling of the song. I mean, it's jiggy, it's, BT, if that's even a word. Anyway, so this musician is called Frenna, and he collaborated with Nigerian musician Shali Poppy on the song, and clearly you can tell he sampled from Cocovelli's Zaza. And I remember on social media, a lot of the industry gatekeepers, okay, or industry enthusiasts, they were having a conversation on social media, like, you know what, Charlie, this one there, cool chuck for Cocovelli, he pursued them, take some $1 million and things. I mean, because last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so, we were talking about Alabaster Box and medical, right? So they cited this as another case of copyright infringement. And so I decided to reach out to Cocovelli to get a response from him. He said he wouldn't speak publicly about it, but my sources, very close sources, tell me that apparently he was consulted, his permission, apparently or allegedly, okay, before they come and sue me. I don't get shit to give you people. Anyway, so I hear that he was consulted, or his permission was sorted before the sample was done. And what's interesting, the Frenna musician guy, he is actually a Ghanaian. He's called Francis Edusei. Okay, he's a Ghanaian, but he lives in somewhere in Europe. He's a Dutch musician, okay, but of Ghanaian descent. And so I can understand why he would want to, sample, Cocovelli's song, get inspired by him and all of that. Anyway, again, my tabs are on the story. Any update, you know where to get your updates, right here on eCorner. Let's move away from Frenna, Cocovelli, and bring you Wendy Shay. Wendy Shay, she's been trending. She's been doing a lot of stuff, from her benevolence with taking care of a certain young lady who helped one of her songs, trend, went there to perform. The girl was dancing to the song. The song went viral and sort of rekindled people's love for the song once again. And so she decided to take care of this girl. Apart from that, she has collaborated with Jamaican superstar Mavado on a new joint. We're going to talk more about that. But she's been going, I guess, on an interview tour. And this week went to London, sat with Adeshokpe. If you know Adeshokpe, he is like a Afrobeat enthusiast or ambassador. He loves to describe himself as an Afrobeat ambassador. They had a beautiful conversation where she recounted her challenging, journey with music. And apparently she says she is the most bullied musician in Ghana. I disagree, but let's listen.
Mind was to just go and pursue my career and sell my culture to the world. That was the goal. For those who don't know my story, I went into the space when we had lost a gem. The young Ebony.
I remember.
Right.
I remember.
Exactly. And she was at her peak when she left.
Absolutely.
So anybody a young female artist who was gonna shine would definitely automatically be compared to her.
Walk in her shadows.
And apart from that, I was signed by the label she was signed on to. Right after that.
And that was just the same year, basically, 2018.
The same year she passed away. And so I don't know if it was her fans or, her the music lovers or, Ghanaians, most of them were like, you can never be like her. It was mind-blowing to get that reaction from them, because growing up in Germany, I was so pro-Africa. Ghana, I love my people. God. I want to sell the culture to them. And then facing racism in Germany.
And then I come
rejection. And then...
What was that like for a young girl? How did you deal with that?
It wasn't easy. I mean, definitely I had to build my self-image, because, sometimes it might blur your identity.
Facts.
Exactly. So, fast forward, I was hated. I'm the most bullied artist.
All right, so that was Wendy Shay. I have a lot of opinions to share on this, but time isn't on my side. Time is fighting against me now. So, yeah, I'm going to let it pass. But I'm so proud of her. She has grown. I mean, I don't entirely agree with what she had to say, but listen, I won't also dismiss her experience and feelings as well. So yeah, kudos to you, and I wish her all the best. I would have told you about Ochame Kwame's son, who has hinted on the possibility of him, you know, charting his father's path and taking music up. But yeah, time again is wrestling against us. And so let me wrap up. And director, you need to take a look at me, director. Take a look at me, please, because I need to do a special birthday shout, okay? So happy birthday to Abokuma Aboga of MTN. I'm wishing you grace and good health on this special day of yours. This is coming from Kingsley, my producer, and all of us here at the AM show. And so that's it for E-Corner. And of course, I get to also wrap up the show. I want to say, once again, say a very big thank you to my colleagues, Sweetie Abochi. I wish they could have joined me or something, but yeah, they're somewhere in dreamland, having fun. So yeah, I almost said congrats to them, but kudos to Sweetie and Benjamin for a good job. And of course to you for watching as well. I'm Noella Karaniali. This is E-Corner. But yeah, we're wrapping up. It's a Friday. Have fun. Be good. Be fabulous. I'll see you next week.